This week on Northland Dodge's The Regional, we take in the sounds of the Quesnel Pipes and Drums, visit the RCMP Youth Academy, and try a taste of Persian food.
Northland Dodge Chrysler Jeeps, The Regional, brought to you by Northland Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Prince George. For information, 250-562-5254.
In the world of music, one can play an instrument as a soloist and become very good. But it's when one plays as part of a group that the real energy, emotion, and true purpose of the musician is found. The Quesnel Pipes and Drums were formed in 1953, and today the group embodies the spirit of music with an eclectic mix of artists both new to the discipline and veterans of years of training.
We all really love what happens when we all come together and play. And you can sit at home and play all these instruments by yourself, but when you're playing in a group together, then the energy, I think, that's created with the music and the people, that's what it's all about. There's people that have had previous musical experience and some who have never seen a musical instrument before in their lives. And we teach everybody as best as we can. We bring in outside instructors when we can't. And yeah, it's just enthusiasm, interest. It takes a fair amount of dedication. There's lots of personal practice time. There's band practice every week. We do a lot of parades, a lot of special performances. It can take up a lot of time, and you gotta love it. Once we start playing the instruments, it doesn't matter what age you are. It's all about the music.
Well, I think it's a calling, and I think as opposed to, oh well, I think maybe it'd be a good instrument. It's a tough instrument to learn, but if you really feel that urge to play the pipes, it's a great instrument. It's a very rewarding instrument to play, and there's lots of things you can do with it, lots of places you can travel to do workshops or play, or you can compete. There's a whole level of competition that you can get involved in if you want to. So, yeah, I think it's a great instrument.
Yeah, music.
All right, set to go. When I started the bagpipes, I had no musical experience at all, other than a couple of years in a high school band. So I couldn't read music. I couldn't, I didn't know anything about time signatures and notation, anything like that. Very beginning, I had a lot of one-to-one instruction because I was the only newcomer, and so I had a lot of attention in the beginning to try and get me just started and used to playing, so that I could actually do some practicing and some playing on my own. And I think that's one of the benefits, to anyone who wants to join the pipe band and to learn the bagpipes, is that there are people that will teach them from the very beginning.
I started learning when I was 10, so just kind of felt right to keep going with it, I guess. I don't know, you start and then you meet all the people, and it's a friendly environment, and I don't know, you want to keep going. There's lots of benefits, I guess, to doing it. You get to meet new people, and you kind of build up that network of people you know, and you get to travel around a bit, and just another skill you get to learn, and something interesting and fun to do. Well, it's just another way to better myself, I guess. I don't have much that I'm into, so it's kind of fun to be able to pour yourself into something that you love.
It's quite an eclectic group, as you can see, but we're all friends. We get along great, and we call ourselves a learning band. We always try to get better as time goes on. We keep getting new tunes thrown at us, which is fine. I mean, for a drummer, I just need to know what the time signature is, and go from there. But it's nice to listen to some different music now and again. We get along great. We have quite a few students, and I encourage anybody, come on down, even if you don't think you can play. Come on down and hang out with us for a while, and we'll show you something different.
If you'd like to know more about the group, you can contact them under their Facebook page, Quesnel Pipes and Drums. From the Legion in Quesnel, I'm John McKenzie.
Right.
19 cadets march in formation. Friends, family, and members of the RCMP watching from the stands. These young men and women just completed a week-long RCMP Youth Academy, the first of its kind in Williams Lake.
My dad's a sergeant of the Lillooet Detachment, and my uncle's corporal with the ident here in Williams Lake. So, I mean, it's been in my family for a long time, and it's in my blood, I guess I could say. And
I always wanted to be like an RCMP officer when I was younger.
The ceremony means a certificate of completion, a handshake with Staff Sergeant Brizard, and of course pictures in front of loved ones. But for the cadets themselves, the week was likely one they'll never forget. Flashing police lights and a gnarly collision involving two vehicles. This accident may be staged, but for the cadets it's as real as it gets.
Neck and broken arm?
Yes.
Constable Sam Nakatsu says the exercise puts them into a situation that officers often encounter on the job.
Well, we're getting all of our emergency services together, and we're going to show the students what it's like to investigate in the what I like to call organized chaos that is a collision scene.
The students were given the chance to put their knowledge to work, in teams responding to a collision scene just as RCMP officers would. Complete with injured passengers, unruly drivers, all actors.
I had 4 beers.
Performing to make the situation as real as possible.
We're looking for them to find out what the cause was, to try and determine fault if there is any fault, and lay appropriate charges. So there'll be some witnesses they'll have to ask, and there'll be the drivers they'll have to question.
Under the watchful eye of the Williams Lake Fire Department and the RCMP, the students got right into it, collecting evidence, interviewing those involved, and liaising with emergency crews on scene. There are similar programs outside the Lake City, but organizers saw a demand for the academy here, which pairs realistic hands-on experience like this with lesson time covering all aspects of the job.
They're going to be participating in just about everything that an RCMP cadet experiences in Depot, all in just a capsulated format. Everything from the court system, law, powers of arrest, arrest and handcuffing procedures.
There really isn't any other way that we could do work experience with them, and this is the most realistic that we can get.
While the practical skills they've gathered are no doubt irreplaceable, for some of the cadets, the real lesson is learned well below the surface.
A lot of core values that they take in mind, and I mean, at a day-to-day basis, you gotta, whether you're wearing the uniform or not, you gotta practice those core values, and I mean, I know I'll remember those and practice them. So.
With a major collision scene now under their belt and a look into the life of an RCMP officer, there's no doubting that these students may soon be donning the red serge themselves. In Williams Lake, I'm Sam Numson for Shaw TV.
Mujgan Sadian is introducing a part of her home country to the people of northern BC with her catering business Saffron Cuisine. While food from the south of Asia isn't uncommon, Persian and Iranian food hasn't been readily accessible in Prince George. That is, until now.
The reason I started here and I wanted to do was because there's nothing here, like there's no Persian food here, and people would ask. And also I can see that most people are more and more into ethnic food and they want to try it. So I thought it would be a good idea to give them a chance to try and also to give me a chance to practice my cooking so I won't forget everything.
As it turns out, cooking professionally wasn't always something Mujgan set out to do.
I started cooking when I was very young, and I can say that I wasn't as much of a good cook or being into cooking when I was back home because it was common and it was everywhere. But here, when I came to Canada about 19 years ago, and I started having kids, and that was my kind of refuge to go to the kitchen and start cooking. And then since we didn't have anything or almost nothing available in Canada, like no restaurants, no Iranian restaurants or anything, so that I tried to learn everything and I tried to follow the recipes to be able to make everything that I wanted to have, you know, from past.
Local musician Eric Tompkins never shies away from the opportunity to try food from another culture.
Oh, I like the tangy citrony flavors, and plus the herbs and spices that are used in it, such as saffron, mint, basil, cardamom, those kinds of things. It's quite different than other kinds of food in that part of the world, from that part of the world.
If you'd like to try Persian food, you're in luck. Muzhgan will be catering the Nowruz Persian New Year, March 31st at the Columbus Center. You can get your tickets at Books & Company. This is a great opportunity for Muzhgan as she's excited to introduce Prince George to some tastes they might not have otherwise been exposed to.
I am very excited because I get to talk about what I know and maybe no one else knows. So that's really nice. And I like it because I can introduce, some of the things to people in northern British Columbia that they have never heard of or never tasted before. So there are some types of food that are common, and there's some types that have never, perhaps you never tried.
For Shaw TV in Prince George, I'm Kevin Neal.
Northland Dodge Chrysler Jeeps, the Regional, has been brought to you by Northland Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Prince George. For information, www.northlanddodge.ca.